Hello everyone, Windy City Comic Books here. This is kind of like for ETA Nick. I actually was making some comments on his videos and mentioned that I had like this old guide from the 1984 Chicago Comic-Con convention, and I went over to my parents' house today and dug it up out of the basement, and as I was going through it, I found a whole bunch of stuff. Actually, I found six. I knew I had more comics there, but I found 6 long boxes of comics. Most of them are from the 1980s, but I did find some Silver Age. So I'll probably make a video today about just miscellaneous Silver Age stuff. Nothing, I don't think any big keys or anything are in there. I usually pulled most of the good stuff and moved them over to my condo. But anyway, I did find the comic book, the little brochure from the Chicago Comic-Con. And I actually found 2 copies, but I guess my mom had one because she had signed that little cover one, and then I had mine. But I'll just go through it a little bit. Not a lot of stuff in here. It's from 1984, so I was 14 years old when I went to this comic book convention. I do have some photographs too, and some autographs and all that stuff from this convention. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. This cover is done by Jim Shooter. I think he was the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics for a while. And there's Superman. He actually makes a comment in there about that. But yeah, like a little table of contents and guest of honor. Got Jack Kirby by Al Milgrom. He's an artist. Guest of honor, Julius Schwartz. And I actually read about him today. It was really amazing. He died in 2004, I believe. But anyway, we'll go through that a little bit. And it's also funny too, I was actually just like looking at the print of this book, and it's just reminds me of like the old computers from like the 1980s. So I don't know, really kind of have an old flavor to it. And it's interesting too because they talk about how, you know, they're actually in a hotel now for a comic book convention, that they're no longer having comic book conventions in basements and gathering of all these, you know, like underground things, but, you know, actually moved to the big time. And I don't know, really kind of interesting about the sign of the times. Let me see here. Anything in there? And they also talked about how many guests they had. Well, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. The advertisements for these, almost everything in this book was for independent publishing companies. Probably really trying to push their books, but that was a big thing in the 80s. I remember that, all these new comic book convention or comic book businesses starting. But yeah, this is a little tribute to the Jack the King Kirby. It's just a couple pages. Another advertisement. On sale in August 1984. Epic Illustrated. Tribute to Julius Schwartz, and I actually got his autograph up there. And it's actually in this second book too. I got his autograph in there too, but nothing too exciting. But yeah, he was amazing because he'd been around for a long time. I mean, he was working back in like the 30s and 40s on comic books, and he even worked with, it said here, worked with such talents as Ray Bradbury, Alfred Bester, Robert Bloch, Edmund Hamilton, and even H.P. Lovecraft. A who's who of science fiction in the 1930s. But yeah, it was really amazing, like what he had done, and he kind of revived all the old characters. I mean, you know, he started all those characters in the 40s and 50s: Wonder Woman, Human Torch, Spirit, Captain America, all that stuff. But yeah, he kind of brought him back to life in the 50s and 60s, and doing the Flash and what else do you have? Green Lantern and all those other guys, reviving all those characters. But yeah, really amazing guy. Like, I don't really hear his name a lot, but. And another advertisement for First Comics there. Then they have all the guests listed, and all like basically a little synopsis of what they did. And I think they said they had 63 people, but they expected about 70 people by the time the convention was going. But yeah, I kind of read through that. And like I said, Al Milgrom was there, like Chris Claremont, you know, the X-Men fame, the writer, and a whole bunch of guys. But yeah, about 70 people. Kind of neat. Advertisement for DC, Centerfold. And more guests listed. Warp Graphics, comic book advertisement. Japanese animation. I did not read that at all because I had no interest. Let me see here. Let's see another advertisement. Oh, actually, there's another one. Moondogs Comics. And I was actually looking them up because I didn't know if they were still around or not. But they said that they were actually the largest comic book chain in the United States at one point. But I'm sure I always heard of Moondogs at some point. Here, let me see. Tribute to Bob Clampett. Passed away back in the day. Let me see. Then more, Comico, another independent company. We'll think about an auction. And First Comics advertisement again. Then a Chicago Mini-Con. I guess little small conventions throughout the year, pretty much monthly. The American Congress Hotel, Michigan Avenue in Chicago. That's where this one was. The big convention. Larry's Comic Book Store. Advertisement. Autographs, which I have none in here. Got them all in the comic books. A little advertisement. That's about it for those. But yeah, 2 of those. I'm glad I held on to them. But I did go to other conventions when I was younger. It was, again, 1984. I was 14 years old. I'll show you some brutal pictures. Here's Dick Giordano, famous artist. That's me. That's me and my dad going through the comic books. My dad had no interest, but he was great to bring me along to these shows. This guy, I'm pretty sure it's Bill Sienkiewicz. I'm not sure how to say his name, comic book artist. I was looking, as soon as I saw his picture, I don't have anything else on there that says who it is. But I found this down there too, in my parents' basement. And there's an interview in here with him. Sorry, bear with me. There's a picture of him right there. And I swear that's the same guy. So, but anyway, yeah, I got a little photograph of him. Of course, I think I did get his autograph too. I do remember getting that, but I'm not sure where it's at. A couple more little pictures. Again, going through the comics. I remember I could see those are like X-Men, number 46 and 47 or something. I can't remember. Then we had Jim Shooter, a photograph of him. His autograph on a little piece of paper. There we go. Marvel's editor-in-chief, Jim Shooter. This is more nostalgia for me. I don't know how many people are interested in this stuff, but Unicorn Comics. This is a comic shop I used to go to. And there's me actually walking into the comic book store. It's still there, actually, in Villa Park, right by the railroad tracks. And here's me shopping for comic books. And I was trying to look. I used to have all these little posters and stuff too. When I was buying my comic books online, even when I was 15, 16 years old, they would send us all these little posters, like advertising posters, because I'd always buy in large quantities and stuff, 3 or 5 copies or 10 copies if I thought the issue was going to be something good. But maybe they thought I was a comic book shop or something. But I used to have my entire walls in my room wallpapered with these little posters. And I was trying to see if there's anything famous here, but Alien Legion, Spider-Man, Marvel Team Up, Alien Legion. There was Secret Wars. Yeah, Marvel Secret Wars. Whoops, sorry, right there. But yeah, I can really see what books or which. Here's me at the convention again, dork boy, going through bins. Comics $1 each. Couldn't be buying that Amazing Fantasy on the wall for $100, but I had to go through the dollar bins. Here's me again. I've gained a little weight since then. And it's my dad and me in the background. And this is a different convention. Me taking out my hard-earned lawn mowing money. Anyway, that's about it for today. or actually this video. I think I'm going to go through this stuff too. I've got some artwork, some prints, some Neal Adams prints, but I'll take these out for another video. And then I'll get on that Silver Age stuff I found in the basement too. Okay, that's it. Thanks for joining me. Windy City Comic Books.